tell us a bit about the charity, because you're actually Bury based, but it's not just a local charity by any means, is it?
Yeah, well, we're mostly sort of Suffolk and Norfolk, but we've got people all over the country.
Right.
That's where most of our volunteers and workers that are paid workers work in this sort of area. So we've been going for 10 years this year. It's our 10-year celebration. We've got
congratulations! Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we've got lots going on. Lots of events and stuff, and it's going to be a very special year for us.
Right, and you provide services for non-military.
That's right.
Kind of amputees, because there's a fantastic care service, isn't there, for military and veterans, I think, in the country. So yeah.
Yes, there is. Yeah.
And how did it start?
It started. Lee and Emma started it 10 years ago. It started actually off as a Facebook group. But Lee lost his leg, and his little boy was going to school, and the kids were asking him, why is your daddy different to my daddy? So
as they do, kids, don't they?
As they do, yeah. So they went home, and I think somebody who was working with Emma and Lee suggested, why don't you start a Facebook group? And Emma said, no, we haven't got time to do that. So they thought I'd give it a go, and then it just sort of progressed from there. It's just sort of grown. The lottery got involved, and we've come along really well.
Right, and you don't have a headquarters as such, do you?
No. We all
work on the internet and from home.
Yeah, we work from home. Yeah, all
of that. And how did you personally get involved with it?
Well, it's a funny story, really. my stepdaughter, her dad's son played football for the same team as Emma and Lee's daughter. And they got talking, and that's really how I got involved.
So just from a conversation and all the rest of it, then you became you still are one of the trustees, aren't you? And then you were the chair for some years.
Yeah, I was the chair for a while. Then, and I'm also a family mentor as well, which, we get assigned, every family that signs up for it is assigned to one of the family mentors, and then we look after them, keep in contact with them. If they've got any problems, they give us a call.
Right. You said I'm just out of curiosity, really, you said kind of mainly, but not entirely Suffolk, Norfolk based. So are you one of a group of similar charities around the country?
Yeah, there is a couple of other amputee charities as well, but which support different areas. But unfortunately, a lot of the limb centres are closing down. NHS cuts and stuff.
Right. Oh, really?
So amputees are having to go sort of further afield to find a limb centre, which is very unfortunate.
Oh, okay, right, yes, and some of the people you help won't be in the best position to sort transport, etc., will they?
No, yes, it's very hard if they don't, especially if they don't drive. It's very hard for them. They have to rely on hospital transport.
Right. So how does it work locally? Where are the equivalent? Where are the limb centres around?
Nearest limb centres to here are there's one in Addenbrooke's.
Addenbrooke's. I mean, there's a big service there all round, isn't there?
Well, they've just opened up a new centre, which is moved away from Addenbrooke's. So they've got a brand new centre. I can't remember the address. I do apologise.
It's somewhere around Cambridge, presumably.
Yeah, it's not far. I don't think it's far from Addenbrooke's. And there's one in Norwich.
Oh, right, okay.
I go to the one in Norwich.
Right, that's quite a distance to travel, isn't it? So there's nothing Colchester-wise, perhaps?
It used to be, but that closed down, unfortunately.
Right, okay, that's really interesting, right. Okay, so everything that's run is privately or mainly charitably, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, there isn't any. All the prosthetic centres are all run by private companies that the NHS,
contract with all of it.
Yeah.
Gosh, so 10 years. So you're having a celebration for the 10 years?
Yeah, we've got our big celebration day on the 13th of July at Isleham. So if any...
Isleham up near Soham, isn't it?
Up that way, yeah. So if anybody would like to come, they're most welcome. If they can go on the website and just fill in the form, and we'd love to see them.
And if they do steel bones or something like that, Google it, they'll find.
If you go on, the easiest way, go on Facebook and type in steel bones, or Google steel bones, and it'll come up, and the events will all come up, and then you can just register on the internet.
Right. So tell us about, in those 10 years, presumably, I was going to say things change, but I suppose the big thing that's changed is that the thing's grown, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. Yeah, it's grown massively. I mean, I don't think we're quite short of 1,500 members now.
Gosh, and this is amputees and those who care for them, isn't it?
It's amputees, and also it's both. It's arms and legs. We look after.
Yes,
that.
right. Yeah.
There's obviously not a big percentage of arms, thank goodness, but it's mostly we find legs.
And probably asked you this before. Why is that? What are the kind of main causes, kind of thing? Is it trauma? Is it accidents, or is it the diabetic thing, or whatever?
It used to be. It's obviously accidents. It used to be sepsis, but we're finding now.
Oh, okay. Gosh,
it's mostly big part of our sort of group that comes to join us is our diabetes, unfortunately, where people, they just must look after their feet, and if they don't, unfortunately, they can end up losing a toe, and then it just progresses from there.
Right, and that's you're getting more. Is that because of the increase in? I gather there's a big increase in people with diabetes than there used to be.
Yeah, massive increase. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
right. That's fascinating, and I suppose for a lot of people, we were talking just before we came on air, weren't we? But I suppose for a lot of people, having an amputation is not something that they would ever have thought about in a billion years. It's not just the trauma people, is it?
No, it's not. And it is. As I said to you, it doesn't just affect the amputee. It affects the whole family. So we support the whole family, not just the amputee.
Yes, I suppose I hadn't thought about that, but having somebody in the family, having a loved one with an amputation, that changes a lot of lives, doesn't it? And how you do things, and how you can get about. Yeah,
it changes dramatically. Yeah.
And is the support you provide as an organisation, is it physical or is it mental or bits of both? How does it work?
We try and help. Mentally, it's obviously a little bit harder for us because obviously that's we haven't got the funds to have our own counsellor, which we'd love to.
Right.
So we mostly rely on sort of NHS for that, but other things like as housing, we can help with. If that particular person, their house doesn't fit them anymore, doesn't meet their needs.
Oh, because some places can be adapted, can't they? But other places can't, I guess.
Places
right.
Can't. So we help out with the housing and the dreaded PIP forms, the benefit forms.
What are these? The ones that get the grants, are they?
These are people for help people with like mobility and things like that. ESA. But it's all going to universal credit now, so everything's going that way.
Oh, so right, okay. So that gets more complicated because I guess, doesn't it? You're always applying for. If you're applying for a specific thing with a specific system, for something that's different, isn't it? To this, yes. Yeah. Gosh,
it's all going into one now, where all your benefits are all as one. Apart from PIP is separate, that's all staying separate.
And PIP stands for exactly?
Personal Independent Payment.
Personal Independent Payment. Right, okay, there you go. I've not heard of this. I guess it's one of those ones that when you need to know, you become an expert or whatever. Yeah. But you're thinking about the kind of mental health thing, on the kind of general well-being thing. I think I've had various people from locally based charities sitting where you're sitting over the last year or two, and it struck me that one or two of them have gone very strong on the fact that where you've got a lot of volunteers that are suffering from whatever the problem is, it's always good for other people to talk with somebody that fully understands it. I guess that provides a lot of well-being and just chatting, doesn't it?
I think it does, yeah. Talking to somebody is, it is a very big thing. If you can talk about it, like our coffee mornings, we put all over the place.
Right. I've seen some pictures of those. Yes, I think we put one on our Facebook social media this morning. Actually,
they can. So if somebody's a new amputee, it's nice for them to come along and talk to amputees that have been amputee for a long time, or and just talk to them and try and reassure them, and ask as many questions as they like. As we always say in Stillbones, no question is a silly question.
That makes sense, doesn't it? Yes, yeah. No matter what you what you've got that you're having to deal with in terms of ability to actually, there's loads of questions which can only answer. And I think you mentioned just to me off air you do some volunteer or hoping to do even more volunteering yourself, aren't you?
Yes, I'm hoping to come into the West Suffolk Hospital to do some volunteering and speaking to amputees, new amputees, and just telling them a bit about what life is like being an amputee.
Is there any statistics about how many people are, or is that?
I think the last statistic we had was, I'm sure we had said this the other day, I think it's 16,000 amputees last year, I think it was.
Right, that's quite
across, obviously all across the country.
Yeah, but it's still quite a number, isn't it?
Yeah, it is high,
Yeah. And are places in general, I'm thinking public places or shops or whatever, has it got better over the years in terms of access, etc., or is it still a struggle?
It has, but there's still a lot of work to be done. There's still a lot of places that aren't accessible, especially with the things like doors. Doors are not wide enough because, like myself, I've got a new wheelchair, but the arms are wider, so it's harder to get through the doors because the arms are wider.
We just discovered that coming into the studio, haven't we? Yes. Last time you came, it was very easy. But yes, we just discovered that. And and presumably things do tend to get bigger as they get more sophisticated in a way. Some things get smaller, but actually equipment can get bigger, can't it? Because it can do more. I really hadn't thought about that. Right, I'm looking at the clock, and we're coming up to the news time. We've got lots of things to talk about after the news, if that's all right with you, because I know you've got some sponsored events coming up, and you've got some funding from all sorts of sources.
Yes.
So let's do that. We'll be back with Colin after the news and a bit of music. But here, first of all, is Ryan McLean with the local news. 100.